Alright, what is going on, guys? Crypto Mac bringing you another crypto video. Today we're going to look at Cardano ADA, which I believe I've done one video on in the past, which is like my first video when I started this channel. So thought I'd do an update video on Cardano. It has been performing very poorly, I think, to put it nicely. It's not been performing too well, and just thought I'd do an update video on where I think this coin's going and just like what's been happening this past kind of 3 months, 2-3 months. So just want to say this is not financial advice, so please do your own research. So looking at Cardano, you can see recently we're in this falling wedge, which I thought was okay because, you know, falling wedge is a bullish pattern. We had like 3 touch points on the upside, 2 here, 1 there, and the bottom line we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points. So it was a solid falling wedge, but obviously we broke to the downside, and then we had resistance on this line, and we've just gone lower. So really not ideal for Cardano. Trading at $1.24 is quite low. Like obviously we had this higher at $3.10. Like we were above $3 for Cardano just 3 months ago. 3 months ago. Wait, yeah, 3 months ago. So I mean, ever since then it's been a 3-month downtrend and is down 60% from that price. And I mean, it is like somewhat it was somewhat predictable. We knew that going into the release of smart contracts was going to most likely have a bit of a lull in the market and move sideways for a bit and head in this downtrend. But we've just gone a lot lower, and obviously Bitcoin heading even lower doesn't help the market as a whole, and so that's obviously just like made matters worse and is why this was a 60% correction. Whereas if Bitcoin was performing well, or maybe this would have been a 40-50% correction, we might be sitting in the high $1 mark, like $1.70, that kind of region, maybe holding the support line. But that's not what happened. But I mean, things to look at. So the first thing we'll discuss is RSI, because RSI is really relevant. So if we look at it's relevant. I mean, it's one of the indicators that you should look at, and it's not the be all and end all, but it's still very important. And so if you look at the daily RSI, well, you can see twice we hit this like 27 mark on the RSI, very oversold. And the last point we actually hit this level was we got close to it here. We didn't actually quite get there, but we got close to it at this point right here. And coming off this was a big 200% move and sent us to that all-time high there at $3. And then if you look at before that, well, it was all the way back here in September 2020. It was a long time ago when we hit this mark, ages ago. So it's been a while on the daily time frame, by the way, that we've hit this like low mark in the RSI. So it can somewhat suggest that we're going to see a big move. And like, let's say we see a move like this take out. I like to look at this kind of stuff to just like remind people of how quickly coins can pump. I mean, I have this little percentage increase here, and it shows we pumped 81% in such a short time frame. It was 4th of May to 16th. It was 12 days. We pumped 80%. Just reminds people how quickly coins can actually pump and how quickly Cardano can actually pump. Especially when a lot of people are just extremely bullish, you know, when a coin like this just has this massive downtrend and heads downwards, like a lot of people just become so fearful and are saying like Cardano's dead, it's all done, and to get out. Whereas I just honestly don't believe that is the case. So if we look at like where we were, so this was 29th of July, and we're at the current price right now, and we just look at the move that took place. Well, here it is, and if we put it next to it, and let's say we've bottomed, right? Let's say we've bottomed, and now as we start the move up, which is by no means guaranteed, but if let's say it is, it would indicate that we're going to get back up to this level, of course, because it's at the same range. So the back up to the $3 mark by, the important thing, by 15th of Jan. That's just over 1 month. Just over 1 month, we pumped. We can do it from here if you want. 145%. Right, that 145% increase in a month. We've seen it do it before, and so you could argue that we're going to do it again. That's one of the things you can definitely say. We've done it before, that we can do it again. And now history doesn't just repeat itself. It's not guaranteed. It's not like because we've done it again, we're just going to do it again. But this just shows what Cardano is actually capable of. And obviously this was dependent, or more so a result of like big news for Cardano. And so if we get some big news for Cardano come out, that could trigger a big pump. And we were looking on the daily, we saw these green candles in a row then consolidate. It was a bull flag mostly. So you can say the bull flag here. Then we saw this wedge. Then another bull flag. Then you could say also that red candle was a bit of a wedge before another bull flag. And so we just kind of went and saw this big move. Bull flag, went higher and higher and higher, and we hit that all-time high. And so we could be on to see that play it again. Now, are we going to go lower? I don't know. There's obviously support kind of within this region. This line here and this line here, there's support in this range we can see. So somewhere in there is support, I would argue, especially on this line here. This is like our bottom. If we break through this, that'd be that's our $1 line, right? Our $1 line is going to be a big level of support. And then this is also a level of support here, which has acted as resistance and also support along the way. We can see support there. So somewhere in here, we could get support and come up and hopefully start a trend back up. Now it's going to be dependent on like what Bitcoin decides to do. And the other thing we look at is like on the weekly, going back to the RSI, on the weekly, Cardano is so low on the weekly, 37. And as I said, the last time when we saw this big correction, when the whole market had a correction down here, this is a 60%, 57% move. We only went as low as 50 on the RSI. We only went as low as 50, and now we're at 37. Such a low period that would indicate or suggest that, you know, we're gonna move. We're gonna change this trend, this downtrend, and start to move up and head higher on the RSI, on the weekly and on the daily. That's what it would somewhat be suggesting, and hopefully that's, you know, that would what we would want to play out. And if you look at the Bitcoin Bitcoin chart, well, we've just been in this downtrend for a while now. This general downtrend, which has been sitting here for quite a while. It'd be nice to get out of this and start a move back up. So we can see the two main moves. The first one was at the end of the bull market. Sorry, the end of the first bull run. In the current bull market cycles, we had our first big move, and now we've had our second big move. If we look at Bitcoin, it would make a lot more sense. So obviously, I'll go to the daily. So for Bitcoin, we had our first big move, then a lull in the market, head down, and then we had a second big move, and now we're heading down again. And so you could say we're about to enter a third big move maybe, or you could say this is a part of the second move. It's just a bit of a correction. So for Bitcoin, for ADA, sorry, late in that first move is where we saw a big play for ADA, which would say that, you know, Bitcoin kind of made its move, and then late alts kind of lagged, and then Cardano tried to move and didn't move. And then also coming up to the release of smart contracts was where ADA had a massive pump as well, and then obviously has been in this general downtrend for a while. So hopefully we can start a move back up for the ADA Bitcoin chart, because you want coins should generally outperform Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's what you want for altcoins. Something like ADA should be outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum. As for Bitcoin, we're currently trading 48,500, and we're just bouncing between kind of these two levels. We have been for about a week today. We've been bouncing, just like consolidating across this period between, it's kind of 52,000 and this level here at 56,800. This is kind of where we're moving between, and I mean, we might move between this for a bit longer, another week or so. Eventually, you know, we're going to break out. Is it the upside or the downside? Look, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I think the cycle's not finished, and so I would speculate we're going to break out to the upside. I think this could be the bottom for Bitcoin, but it's honestly anyone's guess. You can't predict short-term movements. I think that's, you know, I think everyone knows that. It's just way too difficult. I mean, we could come down. There's a possibility the cycle is over. We head down and we head really far down. I don't believe that. The other option is we do head down momentarily before coming back up, right? But as I said, we could just consolidate here for a bit more until we see either a breakout to the upside or the downside. To get back above that $52,000 line would be absolutely awesome for Bitcoin. That would be pushing through not only our cup and handle line, which is really important, but also would get us above the bull market support band, which is another very important indicator. To get above the bull market support band and have that act as support, that's really bullish for Bitcoin. I can show that here where we're at. This is the graph. So you can see we're below it at the moment. And there's a wick on it currently. So on the weekly, we have this candle that will come through. And hopefully we can see a candle go up and back through. And then, so we just had 1 week in this period. 1 week in this period before we go back up. That's what we'd like to see. This would be really good for ADA, especially to get back in, get this bull market rolling again, and see Cardano just flip bullish, I guess, because it's obviously, it flipped bearish, right? We know that. It flipped bearish. We saw this massive just downtrend for ADA, 60%. And we've found ourselves in a low level of support here. Anywhere between $1.44 and that $1 mark is our bottom level of resistance. The RSI is so low, it's indicating we're about to head back up. And that we're oversold. And again, it's just gonna be so dependent on how Bitcoin performs. If Bitcoin starts to rally again, well, I think that'll just be extremely important for Cardano. So I'll leave the video there. Let me know what you think of ADA. I think it's quite divided, especially just being so down at the moment in price. I know a lot of people are just kind of finished with this coin and think it's all done and have gotten out or plan on getting out soon. So I'm interested to see everyone's thoughts. Please like the video if you enjoy the content. Subscribe to the channel and share the video with anyone you think would be interested. Thank you guys.